Yeah, well, let's get this show on the road, shall we? Where are your own plants? Sunday shop do 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 do. Sunday shop do 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 do. Sunday shop do 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 do. Arr. Hello, 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 hello. Welcome, greeting, salutation, one and both. Let's stick this thing on live chat just in case someone actually turns up. Ugh. This has been another week. Wow, that's gone quick. One of the things about getting older, time goes faster. Yes, it's yeah. I'm going to light my pipe and wait, and hopefully someone will turn up, so I'm not just sat here talking to myself. Apologies if you're on replay crew, but not really a huge amount I can do. I don't really want to run through everything I've got to say and then have to run through it again in 10-15 minutes. So, pipe, lighter. There we go. Get the nicotine levels up again. And crack a tinny. Yeah, so. Yeah. 2 minutes in. I suppose I really should start talking, shouldn't I? Yes, what's been going on this week? Water changes in fish tanks, as usual. Nothing new to report indoors fish-wise. Actually, there is, but we'll talk about that later because that was actually quite interesting. More digging and chopping and pulling out roots in the garden. Work being worky. Yeah, the kind of a usual sort of week, really. Nothing too spectacular. A couple of moments of interest, but we'll get to those in a bit when, pardon me, we have people to talk to. People to actually communicate these things with. I see there's someone here. Now, whether that's a bot or someone who's just lurking, I don't know, because it doesn't tell me who they are unless they type something in the chat. Ooh, we have two someones and a like. Wow. It's always the first few puffs that keeps going out. Hello, Debs, me darling. And Kay. How the devil are you both? Oh, put pipe and light it down. Big hugs to both. I hope all is well with both of you. As I say, I've been water changes and gardening type stuff this week, which most people aren't too interested in, it seems. And another visit to a garden centre today, and I bought a load more bulbs as well during the week when I went to Lidl. Was it Lidl or was it Lidl and QD? Yes, I've been planting a lot more summer bulbs. Well, I'm going to have to clear some more clear some more borders of grass, brambles, nettles, roots. Yeah, that is always the problem on a Sunday, isn't it, Dad? It's Monday tomorrow. Oh, pardon me. That's what my belly thinks of Mondays. It's also my busiest day at work as well, because we have delivery on Monday. Although there's quite a few of us in, so it shouldn't be too bad. I always get left with all the stuff nobody else wants to do, as usual. So yeah, in total this week I've put in another 100 bulbs into the garden. 10 Arabis plants, basically bedding plants. The 2 cordylines went in, and I cleared the patch outside the kitchen window. So that's clear and ready for planting. And so this week's actual plant purchases, we have something that will probably get frowned upon by some. A Cotoneaster horizontalis, Cotoneaster if you speak English like most of us do. Basically very hardy, durable, unkillable kind of thing. When you see those big sort of bushy ones outside of supermarkets or anywhere that like needs to be planted to make it look nice, they usually use those. Then we've got a couple of Hebes. So we have the Hebe Matty Brown, where the new leaves are a dark brownish red colour. And we also have, it's not the Heartbreaker, is it? It's we also have the Burning Heart, where the leaves are a nice pink variegated colour when they first come out, along with a couple of packs of oxalis bulbs to go in. We went to Cherry Lane Garden Centre today. I was maybe hoping to get one of the plants I was looking for, but managed to get 3 and 40 more bulbs to plant. Yay! So we're going to have to get more dug over, so we got the correct kind of ground to plant those in. It's going to be hard work because I'll get to the bit where all the nettles are, basically. Let's put it that way. There's not a lot of nettlage coming up yet, but they've got some serious root systems on them. There's also quite a bit of grass as well, so that's going to have to get dug up and removed, and then the border's going to have to be put in. Yeah, thankfully I've got a long weekend next weekend, so we can get on with it, as it were. And quite probably fill the garden bin up again because it's getting empty tomorrow, so that'll probably be full by Saturday. I'll have to wait another 2 weeks before I can clear any more rubbish out of the garden. But yeah, I'm getting there. I'm hoping that this empty and fill should clear the rest of the brambly, stalky bits at least. Although my trug and my pop-up waste bin are already full, mostly of roots. So yes, that's going to be fun. I think I have figured out what I'm going to do with the lawn as such as well, and that I'm going to get rid of it. I don't like grass. It's annoying and pointless in a garden. If you're not looking to play on it or host parties or whatever out there, it really serves no purpose other than just being annoying and needing to be mowed at least once a week, usually twice a week in the summer. So this is all going. I'm going to have a couple of beds in the middle of it, flower beds, not sleeping beds, and basically just have pathways of weed suppressing membrane, and then bark chips on top, just to keep it all natural, but should reduce the maintenance levels at least. Because I'll be honest, it's the cutting the grass that is the pain in the hole to me. I don't mind going out there for 5, 10 minutes, half hour, pulling some weeds out and doing a little bit of trimming, that kind of stuff. That's kind of the enjoyable side of gardening. Dragging around a mower or a strimmer and digging out huge amounts, or digging over huge amounts of dirt and pulling out weeds. And when I say weeds, I mean like brambles and root balls like that. It's hard work, pain in the hole, not enjoyable, and yeah, I'd rather not do it. Hence why I haven't been doing it, but now I've had a change of heart and I will be doing it and getting it sorted and hopefully keep it sorted, and then I won't have this again. It's been an absolute pain in the butt. But at least the bits I'm clearing, or the bits I've got left to clear as such, are the full sun bits, so you can get some more interesting plants in there. I say interesting. It's easier to find things that do well in sunlight than it is in shade that aren't hostas. Because yes, hostas, yes, they love full shade. They love it being all shady and damp. Yeah, so do slugs. The slugs love to eat hostas. So we're not going down that route. Oh, thank you very much, Debs. Oh, well, bit at a time. We'll get there. So the actual work doesn't cost anything. Plants and stuff, however, are getting pricey. Bulbs are pretty cheap. Most of the ones I've been buying them in £2 or £3 a packet, so that's not too much of an issue. Yeah, buying sort of decent sized plants and you start looking at 10, 15, 20 plus pounds per plant. Yeah, it kind of makes you think twice. So hence I've been mostly going to the cheaper places. Hey, why buy exactly the same thing from a more expensive place than from a cheaper place? If there was something specific that I wanted and I could only get it from the expensive place, then yeah, fair enough. But I don't. So, haha. Yeah, once I've got it cleared and oh, yes, I know, Mr. McAfee. I know my protection has ended. But yeah, once it's all sorted, yeah. I'll get there. And then say, once I've got the heavy lifting and stuff done, as it were, I'll, I'll be able to start going on bike rides again and enjoying that as well. So, yay! Yeah, it's just kind of a daunting prospect. I mean, starting from scratch with a cleared piece of land would have been a lot easier. But when you're starting from a state of overgrown jungle of perennial weeds that are notoriously hard to kill or get rid of, not so good. I'll probably be finding brambles for years, let's be honest. They'll just keep randomly popping up in places, but just keep getting rid of them while they're small, and it's a lot easier than waiting till they're almost tree sized. Yes, before we completely alienate everyone with boring talk of plants and gardens, fishy stuff that's happened this week. Forget what day it was, Tuesday or Wednesday perhaps, can't remember. But I sat and watched a young Amicus splendens giving live birth. She dropped the sprog right in front of me, so I got to see the baby come out. I got to see the umbilical cord and how that came apart. See the baby swim off, and mum swim off. And how she got rid of the umbilical cord, and it was very interesting to watch. Yes, I know a good content creator would have grabbed a camera and recorded it, but I was more interested in just watching it. It didn't even occur to me to grab a camera. It never does. And I have bred another species now as well, in the same way that most of us breed certain species. Hang on, what's that? Ooh, it's a baby. Except not a baby. It's about the length of my index finger. Comic goldfish swimming around in the pond. That, yeah, apparently I breed comic goldfish as well now. News to me. So the pond must be healthy for the amount of frog spawn that's in there at the moment. There's much more frog spawn in there, then there won't be any water surface for gas transfer, because there's a lot of spawn in there. Yeah, the fishes are breeding, then must be doing something right. And is it me, or is that camera gone blurry and out of focus again? Probably just my eyes. Yeah, just my eyes, I think. Not that it really matters whether the camera's focused or not. Because let's be honest, people aren't tuning in and watching this for the pretty pictures. Because it's me, my mug for however long I stream, hour and a half, 2 hours, whatever. So yeah. So watching the Amicus splendens give birth and spotting a random comic goldfish. So yay! I think the blackbird nest has been abandoned. Howdy, Sammy. Yes, not first. Yes, the clocks haven't changed in the UK yet. That's next weekend on Mother's Day. That's why we went to the garden centre today, so we don't go out somewhere on Mother's Day, because, you know, far more fun things to do on Mother's Day. Yeah. Let's see. Plants, fish, work being work. Nothing spectacular. Not that I'm really allowed to talk about much. Yeah. Oh, and I fixed the drip from the water tank in the roof, in the loft as well. So I say that like it was a big job, but it wasn't. It just me getting up the willpower to get the ladder out, go up into the loft, spray the lever valve with WD-40, scrape off some of the lime scale, give it a good waggle. Still not quite there. I know what. Jab a big old chunk of polystyrene packaging from an old TV or something underneath the ball valve, the ball cock, and yeah, so it just gives more upwards pressure, which closes the valve off, and also lowers the water level inside the tank, so that even if it is still dripping, it's going to take a lot longer before it starts dripping out of the pipe, but then I'll use the water more quickly than that. Which also means it doesn't then waterlog that piece of land or ground outside of the kitchen window. Which is probably why it was so unfun to dig over the other day, because it was just waterlogged. But the laurel is still there and doing okay. The Pittosporum Tom Thumb is just monstrous. But yeah, everything else down there was pretty much dead. The heuchera seems to have managed to move itself into what was the lawn. I don't know. That's something I'll have to get a few more of, because I do like heucheras. Not hookahs. I know what you're like, Sam. I do like things with different coloured leaves, things that keep their colour all year round, so that you don't go, wow, it looks amazing in the summer, and then from autumn onwards you're just looking at bare sticks. That just doesn't appeal much. Just hopefully I'll get it all done and sorted in time for when daffodil and tulip bulbs start turning up in the shops, and the snowdrops and crocuses and things like that, so that then I can plant all those as well. I have even more bulbs in the garden. Oh God, I've spent too much time on Reddit that I actually understand that. No cap, yeah. All your base are belong to us, I know. I will translate into English. I'm dog parking right now, for real, for real. Sigma. Oh God, all that bloody Alpha Sigma beat. Oh. Just be yourself, people. As Robert Smith once said, the great Robert Smith, I will add, very laconic. If you look up laconic in the dictionary, there'll be a picture of Robert Smith. He says, there's nothing less cool than studied cool. It's like there's nothing less masculine than doing everything. I have to be masculine. I am alpha. It makes you look like a sissy soy boy. Walking around talking on my phone, so I'm going to say goodbye. Dude, you've done worse things in your life than walk around talking to a phone. I'm a YouTuber. I walk around in public talking to myself. If I didn't know that you people are real, for all I know, I could be sitting here chatting to a bunch of AI bots. The fact that I know you're all real because, well, pardon me, an AI bot couldn't say most of the things that get said in here, or leap to the jokes and get them, as I found messing about with various AI sort of chatbot programs. No, not for the reason most people mess around with them. I'm not doing it to perv. I'm doing it to screw with them because, you know, I get more enjoyment out of that. Uh, yeah, AI programs do not do well with double entendres, sarcasm, basically being British. I just don't get it. If an AI bot program is, oh, hi, how are you today? You go, yeah, not too bad. Oh, what's the problem? What's the matter? You go, nothing. You said you were not too bad. Like, yeah, not too bad. But then I think because they're probably mostly programmed or based on Americanisms or American English or American culture, possibly. That I mean, certain things like a British greeting is, or an English greeting is, all right. Now that's not like asking the question, "Are you all right?" or saying there appears to be a problem. What is it? It's basically just saying hello, right? Right, right, mate. Someone you don't know. It's just a face you recognise vaguely. Right, mate. Then you get a face you recognise vaguely, and they start talking to you like they've known you for years, and you're sitting there or standing there. Tommy, how you doing? Have you escaped from Mauschwitz now, or was it Dachau? Um, yeah, you get the and Raina, how you doing? Yeah, you get the random people come up and they start talking to you like they've known you for years, like you're friends. And I'm really bad at remembering people, as we've discussed before. So I'm stood there going, okay, I obviously know this person. I have no idea where from. Act like you remember who they are. Act like you know them. Don't let on that you're desperately trying to figure out where the hell you know them from. This is the problem. With random people I went to school with, and they still recognise me apparently, but I ain't got a clue who they are. People I used to race RC cars with. I don't know, it's been 20 odd years. People who I've served in various shops I've worked in, or lorry drivers that I've loaded and unloaded. And obviously, I've had a bigger impact on them than they did on me. Or I just don't pay. Yeah, I think it's more I just don't pay that much attention most of the time. But yeah, that's how things are going. Oh dear. Uh, yeah, I'm just awful with it. There was once when I was, I don't know, 13, 14. I was in a cafe with my social worker at the time, and a man came up to me and said, "Oh, how are you, John? You all right? It's good to see you." I'm like, yeah, I'm fine. So I'm looking at my social worker going, I don't know who this person is. It's me, your Uncle Robin. Oh, phew, right. I knew I had an Uncle Robin. I couldn't to this day tell you who he related to, or I think he's on my dad's side. Yeah, it might be my dad's brother, but I didn't know. I ain't got a clue. Kind of had a bit more on my plate back then than worrying about who was some random relation that I last saw like 5 years ago. I don't know. I don't care. Hell, probably wouldn't recognise my own mother or father if they knocked on the door these days. I'm just hoping that they're both old enough and tech unsavvy enough that they don't figure out how to find me on YouTube. They both managed to find me on Facebook and Messenger, which is one of the reasons I don't go on there anymore. So I don't want to be talking to them. And so, yeah, I really don't want them randomly turning up in my live streams or commenting on my videos. They probably have bad things to say. Like, oh, you need to redecorate. Or, oh, about time you cleared those cobwebs, isn't it? That kind of just digging at me constantly. So I don't want to deal with it. So I'm just using my one remaining fingernail to dig some of the ash out of my pipe. It's been a bad week for fingernails. I did have 3 long ones on each hand, and now I've only got 1 left. I mean, it's still pretty impressive as fingernails go, but it's weird not having nails. Although saying that, they're probably still longer than most men's nails, even though I consider them really short. But yeah, digging up and pulling up root clusters and stuff. Yeah, I just snapped the rest of them off. I'm a nail biter, practicing addiction. Would not bite my nails right now. I just got through changing a power steering pump on the horse. Oh yeah, don't. Yeah, power steering fluid does not taste good. Although, on a related note, as one of the pit lane reporters on the endurance racing scene, and a car comes in and it's leaking something. He will, once the car's gone, he'll put his hand down into the whatever's leaking, give it a sniff, and be able to tell what's leaking out of the car. Whereas fuel, coolant, engine oil, transmission oil, power steering fluid, whatever, brake fluid, you can tell what it is just by sniff and taste. That's probably not a good skill to have, mate. Not as funny as one of the female pit reporters they used to have, the lovely Louise Beckett. She was the rain meter, because not as soon as it started raining, like before it started raining, her hair would go frizzy. So they had the frizzometer. Well, the clouds are rolling in. What's it like down where you are, Lou? Yeah, my hair's gone frizzy. The teams actually started using that to help plan strategy. So, Louise's hair's gone frizzy. Time to get a set of wet tyres ready. Maybe try and put off that pit stop a bit longer if we can. Literally seen it happen. It was hilarious. But you know, if you find an advantage, I'm like some, maybe not so much in the endurance racing, but certainly things like Formula One and it's certain endurance races. If I did a segment on you for my who's who in the news portion, would I label you as a phantom file? Label me as whatever you like, Tommy. It's not like I've ever been bothered by it. The ghost hunting gardener fish breeder. I don't know. The paranormal cyclist. That's probably a good name for a channel, isn't it? Yeah, I better copyright that one. Paranormal cyclist. Or the gardening gimp. That probably is a thing. Yes, feel welcome if you want to curse your show or yeah, if you want to curse your show by having my face appear on it. Oh, pardon me. Just, I mean, you have my permission to clip whatever you want from anything I've done. I think I got it set that you can just clip whatever you like out of my videos and streams because I'm not fussed. Because if someone does clip it and it goes viral, then it might lead back to me and I might get some more views. That's my thinking on that anyway. Very capitalist of me, I know, but needs must. It's not like I'm massively precious about my content. All that I'm worried about people stealing my content and just uploading it under their name. B-roll, just me randomly wandering around an old church or something. Oh, you want one that looks. You want one that actually looks haunted, because it really is badly. Either Thelverton or Icklingham. Both of those just got that look because they are like that. But yeah. I go to anyone if you want to clip part of one of my videos or live streams to show how not to do things, feel free. I'm not going to be filing copyright claims on anything because fair use. Exactly. To me, that's fair use. I mean, is when you get people, it's something that Simon Whistler has troubles with. He does Casual Criminalist, Brain Blaze, Decoding the Unknown, War Graphics, Geographics, Biographics. He's got a bunch of channels. They're all basically the same. Him reading a script that he pays someone to write, adding his own bent to it, his own sense of humour, and he makes a good living from it. His writers get paid fairly, but he's had issues with people basically just stealing the entire video and putting it up on their own channel under their name. Yeah. All new birds, 5 little duckylings, yay! You must be quackers. Yeah, no new birdies here, but we do have new fishies. We have baby comet goldfish now, apparently. So the pond is ponding. and I was watching Amicus Splendens give birth earlier this week, and it wasn't an adult female either. It was one, yeah, maybe an inch long, giving birth to something that was like a quarter of an inch long. I mean, be like a woman giving birth to a toddler. You know, Sam is back to his DPs. Yeah, ducklings are cute, has to be said. Well, ducks are cute. Quite happily feed the ducks. I've caught ducks when I've been fishing as well. That's interesting. The smaller ones like mallards basically just reel in, and then through experience, I found out the best way to get the hook out of them is not try to get them in the net. It's just grab them and then get the hook out and let them go. Next thing you call me Tommy Boy, you reminded me I hadn't subscribed to Bob again on this channel. Not Bob. See, talk to text. Yes. I'm going to have to try that one time because I know just how bad it is from my accent. Maybe if I actually spoke English correctly. Yeah, precisely. I mean, I've not got a thick accent. It's just a mutton. Bob! How you doing, Bob? Long time no see. Hope all is well. Speak of the devil, soon to appear. Ask Google for a bottle of water. Good, good. Yes, I'm doing all right. I mustn't grumble too much. Work's going okay. I'm relatively healthy. Just working on sorting the garden out again. You know how that goes. Starting a fish sub up this afternoon. Good, good, good. Mine will beat you to it. I've already got frog spawn everywhere and baby comets and God knows what else going on in the pond. I think the blackbird nest may have been abandoned because I've not seen the female on it or the male. So, pardon me. If I've not seen another, if I've not seen them on there by next, well, Friday when I'm off, then I'll assume that it's been completely abandoned and just start clearing that corner again. Dog likes to play with my hand. I'm just a chew toy. To a dog, you're the purveyor of walks, treats, food, fusses, and a chew toy. Yes. I do sometimes wonder what dogs think about us, or cats, or fish, for example. Like probably dogs more than anything. Was like, what do they see us as? And cats certainly see us as their servants. The dogs see us as their owner, their friend, or just the source of food, fusses, walks, treats, something to play with. Is there emotion? Well, we know there's emotion going on there with dogs and cats. I'm a tutor for big cat hoolas. I'm jumping up to her front legs are on the shoulders and then proceeding to bite my biceps. Howdy, Ricky. Willie. How the devil are you, sir? Yeah, I mean, I'm 6 and yeah, we'll say 6 foot. I may have shrunk a little bit over the years, but I was at one point. But yeah, we got a mastiff that comes into work called Major. Awesome dog. It just his owner comes in. He comes in. He just comes for a wander around the warehouse to come and see people. But yeah, he'll stand up and put his paws on my shoulders and rest his head on my shoulder and have a cuddle. And his head's bigger than mine. He's got a big head. If he tried to bite me, I would be dead. But I don't think he knows how to be aggressive. He's just the biggest, softest floof that there ever was. But yes, got the gentleman's chimney, chimney, chim chimney, chim chimney, chim chim chiroo. Yeah. It means I literally smoke one of these and maybe 2 roll-ups in the course of a stream rather than half a dozen roll-ups. And when I'm just sitting at home, it just I wouldn't say easier. I can take a couple of puffs. If a couple of puffs is all I need, then I'll put it back down and come back to it later. Unlike a roll up where I'll sit there and smoke it all whether I want it or not. Starting the cold water fish today. I'll leave them. Mine just stay outside all year round and do what they do. Loving me and life, my old vagabond. Vagabond. Yes, that's definitely me. Drinking a lot here for the last few weeks and rejecting whiskey. The smell is making me nauseous. You know you've been drinking too much Irish whiskey when the smell starts making you go, ooh. Commence the bass on Come Little Children from Hocus Pocus. Yeah, probably. Norm! Yeah, all is good here, sir. Yourself? That doesn't ruin my week. Come Little Children. Yeah. Getting by. Exactly. Just keep on trucking. That's what they say. That's all we can do. Just keep on going and see where the world leads us. Well, I did think about you earlier this week, Norm. Take a few weeks off from booze and go off my health's sake. Before you get deported from Ireland, you mean? Yeah, I was up in the cave, as it were, and see the Special Hobby X15, the 132 scale one. And I was like, damn, I remember getting that. I was trying to remember what it was you actually said about it. I think it was something along the lines of, there's only one nutter I know who would build that for fun. And then I had often watching videos. Oh, thank you very much, Norm. That's nice to hear. Also nice to hear that the geezer enjoys it as well. Yes, to those who don't know, Norman's wife is known as Geezer. Mary's doing wonderfully as well. Thank you very much, Bob. All is good there. Had a couple of health scares recently, but all sorted ish. You know, it is when you know what it is and you get the right medication, it fixes itself over time. A hiatus hernia was apparently the problem, followed by us both getting the second dose of COVID, which is what we figured out. The cold thing we both had was that I was still hanging about. So I saw the X15. I was like, I remember Norm saying that literally I was the only one he thought would ever actually build that damn thing. I still haven't. And then the 124th Airfix Typhoon. I remember the laugh we had about that. And the person saying, "You'll never build that in a month. That will take you years to build." Or something like that, wasn't it? No, you'll never build that for the group build. That'll take you way too long. And I made a bloody point of doing it to top standards for me anyway, and getting it done in 30 days. Yeah, the old jokes about me building two kits at one time, one with my hands, one with my feet. I remember those. Between me and you, chum, I must apologise. We're here in touch. A short time of short going on. Yeah, we good, Willie. Don't worry about it. I don't expect anyone to I don't put a. Why wouldn't such and such here? Oh no, I'm upset. Someone didn't show up to my live stream or watch my video and comment on it. You know me well enough to know that's not me. I'm like, oh, cool. Nice to see you again. We've all got lives going on. Yeah. Stuff happens, as they say. As one of my sayings at work is, same shift, different day. And I think pretty much everyone echoes it now. Oh, pardon me. There's a hippo around here somewhere. Feel free to clip that, Tommy. Stick that in your video. Thank you very much, Bob. $9.99 or $10 super chat. Most appreciated. Almost pays for one of the plants I bought today. Yay! Yes, so that is one of the things I've been doing. Cummins X, no, not a Cummins X15. Oh God, who made the X15? Was that Boeing? The not quite a plane that used to get, was it attached to a super fortress and then dropped, and the fastest plane ever made. It was basically a missile with a man in it. Yeah, basically take a rocket shape, rotate it 90 degrees to the horizontal, and then just stick a cockpit in it. Basically, is pretty much what it was. Yeah, that thing. Hang on, I'll go grab the kit. That'll be easiest because it's ridiculously big. Because it's not a little thing in real life. That wee beast. Ooh. Let's have a look, shall we? Oh Christ, I forgot just how huge it actually was. I can't even remember who I bought it from. And that's the length of the fuselage. And then we have engine nozzle and 1, 2, 4 bags of resin parts. Actually, does it have any colour call outs for green? Oh yeah, and a honking great sheet of photo etch. Black or black with a bit of white on the bottom. This is the NASA version. Also black, and then the actual fuel pods are a lot more brightly coloured. But yeah, there is the photo etch. Sheet of little brass bits. Both our models, long-time friends. We chat plastic stuff and cyanide grey. That was. Will this green be okay? No, it's cyanide grey, but the picture looks green. Yes, the picture's the wrong colour. Oh. Yeah, going back, God knows how many years it is. Yeah, may as well just be a Ford. See, hashtag Team Losi and Trinity. Yeah, hang on. Let me just pretend to read the instructions for the model kit. What's the other ones I have in common? Oh no! Oh no! Oh God! Yeah. Those are the days. You add that, and then you have Yuval coming in as well. Oh my God! Sideshow Bob's dad. Oh, it was Krusty's dad, wasn't it? You don't want to see my RC car collection, Tommy. I used to be a sponsored driver. Yeah, so me and Norm go back, God, how many years is it? Got to be a decade now, something like that, if not longer. How long have I been? Probably about a year or two before I even started YouTube. So yeah, it's got to be 10 years. Not a collection, it's a cupboard full of RC cars. Yeah, it's not even a cupboard, Norm, it's a double wardrobe. Got Novak That's a T3. That's not retro. Jeez. I've got a 1980s Grasshopper and Lunchbox and Boomerang. Yeah, T3 is retro now. Oh, I've got up there. I've got a Triple X NT Drake edition, which is the nitro version of the truck. And what was the Drake edition there? And a Triple X T Worlds up there somewhere. Try buying rep parts that aren't labelled for a premium price. Yeah, probably just cheaper to buy a new truck. It's to that point. Hell, I've got a built and never raced or driven double XCR up there. Yeah, the RC10 GT. Yeah, I got both for the Losi. Actually, really old. I've still got a Losi Junior 2 up there somewhere. And a full carbon and titanium Losi LST. The one that does tend to worry people will be the Traxxas Emax in 10 scale, yes. The LST is 8 scale. 8 scale monster truck. I've got Traxxas Emax that runs 4 7.2 volt NiCads, twin 14 volt hand wound Trinity motors. Can't remember what term they are. They're bloody powerful. I know that. Is all aluminium and runs on jumbo congs, which are a 9-inch tyre. It's got the shocks on it are the associated factory team. Be the upgrade ones for the T3. Literally the only original parts on that are the bumper mounts and the body mounts. It's a ridiculous piece of kit. Drives straight upstairs. Does weigh something like 27 pounds though, so you know it's not light. I had enough of making all my cars as light and as fast as possible. I thought, let's make this one as big and heavy and manly as possible. It's the one I entered the rock crawling club with. There was one started up relatively close to me, so I went to a meeting. Yeah, well, you get something that's almost 30 pound going 60 mile an hour, and you hit the wall. The wall's got to look out as well. Good catching up, Lil. Sort out the grandkids' suppers. Yeah, you too, Norm. Give the geezer a hug. You have a hug yourself. And it won't be long till the grandkids can sort out their own suppers. Because they're going to be a lot bigger than I remember them as well. See you later, Normski. You bloody Mackham. You're the better sandwich maker. Oh, I've seen that happen. I've seen people get hit by RC cars who weren't expecting it, and yeah, and I'm not talking big, beefy, heavy bricks. I'm talking lightweight, relatively slow, and it leaves a mark. And it's why when we used to do the marshalling, we used to wear steel toe caps. Because the last thing you want is something hitting you in the foot that's doing 60, 70 mile an hour, because it really hurts. But yeah, I've seen someone chase across an off-road track. Well, they, no, they weren't chasing. They decided that because it was a public park, they had the right to be there, and they crossed an off-road track in the middle of a race. They got really upset when they got hit in the head by a flying stadium truck. And it was basically pointed out to them that, yeah, there's a reason that you were told not to do it. These are not toys. This is not your little child's grasshopper or whatever the entry level Tamiya would be at the time or whatever. These things are serious. They're big and they're fast. Yeah, so and that Emax of mine has got a prototype speed controller in it as well, one of a kind, that I got sent for testing. And when I didn't blow it up, they detuned it and detuned it. And then the version they sold was way less power than mine. Well, it put out, make the car go as fast, but didn't have the amperage that mine did. I think mine is limited to 1,024 amps or something ridiculous. Yeah, people just don't realise it. I mean, thankfully, when I worked in the model shop, we had a racetrack, and probably videos of it online somewhere. Snetterton Model Shop Raceway or racetrack, and people would watch the racing, then come into the shop to buy a car because they wanted to join in the racing. And then they found out how much they cost to go that fast. I must say, Charm, always been a pleasure when it comes to clipping of the plastic. So, fairly well, Willie. Have a good week. Hope some of the life stuff sorts itself out for you. And enjoy. Yes, the joke used to be, let's have a speed build, or as Sharpe calls it, a build. I remember once we did a 2-hour speed build and I finished in 45 minutes. Just a 72 scale kit, nothing special. But yeah, built, painted, and decaled in 45 minutes. Yeah, that even surprised the people I was doing it with, and they knew me. But yeah, it's good times. But things and people move on, and the old crew has kind of split up and gone their separate ways. So I don't exactly do a lot of modelling anymore, if any. So the last thing I built was a Gundam over the Christmas period. That doesn't exactly count. And you just clipping the bits off the sprue, sanding off the sprue nubs and clipping them and putting it together. No glue or filler or anything required. To me, that's not proper modelling. I know I sound elitist with a can of energy drink in my hand and the ciggy stuck between my fingers. Gundam is like marijuana. It's a gateway drug. You start out simple and you just get into it further and further. And the next thing you know, you're building special hobby and mini art kits. And getting kicked out of Games Workshop for pointing out just how poor their molds are, and then, yeah. While I think about it, I'll pop that kit back upstairs and I'm going to have a whittle and I'll be back in a moment. Oh, there goes the lighter. There we go. That's better. Ooh. Yeah, perhaps that's something I should do one day. Pull out all the old RC cars and film a video. Probably scare quite a few people. Just be more proof that when I do something, I do it over the top. There's no subtlety or delicacy about it. Like when it came to keeping fish, I bought a fish tank. Now look. The only reasons I haven't got more fish tanks are running out of space, and I really don't want to be doing more water changes. Yeah, it's although I still have an empty tank, an empty fluval flex sitting there, so we might going to have to figure out something to go in there soon, unless I just use it as another grow out tank for bristle noses. But even then, I've got that one and that one. I haven't got anything in other than snails at the moment, so we're running a bit low. I have to find something else. Maybe, I don't know, maybe stick some plants in that flex and just pop some more live bearers in it or something. Another flavour of good aid. No, I'm not going to do endlers or guppies or platties or swordtails or mollies. Been there, done that. Damn. Bloody mosquito bites. That's the problem with spending a lot of time out in the garden at the moment. I get eaten alive. Probably because I keep disturbing everything while I'm out there. If I was just like out there and wandering about, I'd probably be fine. Just because I'm going about digging everything up and pulling everything about and what have you, that they all come rushing out and go, attack, maim, kill. And then the more I think about it and the more I talk about it, the more I randomly itch all over. Well, at least it's not fleas. Yeah, that was starting to clear up. Because at least dog or cat fleas wouldn't be getting me halfway up my back, would they? Hey, yeah. So, as I said earlier, I'll get there. I'll get the garden sorted, but yeah, it's the same as yawning. It's contagious. One person yawns, then another person yawns, and then eventually everyone in the vicinity yawns. Thankfully, the same is not true of orgasms. Oh, geez, that'd be messy, wouldn't it? Oh, you doesn't bear thinking about. Yeah, and you also get the one where you've been bitten by something, and then the itch kind of moves around. So you know this, like, so that's where you've been bitten, but for some reason the itch is travelling further and further down. You're like, why am I itching here? The bite's up there. And yeah, I do tend to scratch things, and then they bleed, and then yeah, because I do it without realising. I scratch myself without realising I'm scratching myself, and given what my nails are normally like, that's a bad thing. Because I'll do it in my sleep as well. And I can't really control that at all. Done it with when I've had chilblains on the top of my toes, which if you've never had chilblains, you don't want them. Trust me, it's horrific. And literally, as soon as the area gets warm, they start itching, and they itch constantly. So it's like fall asleep eventually, and wake up in the morning and find your toes are stuck to the sheets because in the night, in your sleep, you managed to not necessarily scratch, but rub your foot up against the edge of the bed or something just to get some relief from the itching and taking all the skin off. And then you got to spend the next, yeah, and then you have to go to work and put socks on and be walking around all day. And yeah, it's not pleasant. So if you can avoid getting chilblains, do it. Caused by having your feet cold and wet and then warming up very quickly, which is, kind of what you want to do when your feet are cold and wet. By cold, I mean really cold. Say, for example, you've been out fishing all day in the middle of winter, temperatures below freezing, so you had to break a gap in the ice to fish in. And you get home, and the first thing you do is jump in a hot bath to warm up because that's pretty much the only way you're going to warm up. And then you give yourself chilblains. Yay! On your feet and your hands. It's not good. Especially when basically the only way to get rid of them is deep heat. Which means you then go around smelling of deep heat all the time, which is even worse. Just as long as nobody does what someone got in trouble for from work. We had a coloured lady working with us, and she'd injured herself, pulled a muscle or whatever, and they put tiger balm on it, which, as you do. Well, we have a colleague who's not the brightest. Oh, bless him, he's not racist or sexist or anything like that. He's just not the brightest. And he got a whiff of said tiger balm and was like, that smells like curry twiglets. Yeah, he ended up getting a warning for being racist. Well, I'll say warning, he got taken into the office over it and recorded conversation. So yeah, you have to be careful these days. As I say, he wasn't trying to be offensive, because that's not in his nature, but it was offensive. I mean, I'm not one to normally worry or care about being offensive. I'll say what I think. But even I wouldn't have said that. Even my brain would have gone, this person doesn't have much of a sense of humour at the best of times. I mean, I did one but got away with it. One of her hair extensions fell out, and I was like, damn, you're going bald quicker than I am. I got away with that one because it was obviously a joke and it didn't single anyone out for anything. Maybe me, but you know. Doesn't take long for people to figure out my sense of humour. Doesn't have much of a filter at the best of times. And I didn't say it in front of a bunch of other people, so there were no witnesses. But yeah, some people aren't the brightest when it comes to these things. Or they don't think first, which I think is more the issue. I think we are just down to ash in there now. Yeah. Have a dig. Ugh. Yep. There's a tiny bit of, was a tiny bit of unburnt tobacco in the bottom, but yeah, it's just ash. Which is why it keeps going out every 2 seconds. Yeah, what else have I got I can ramble on about for a bit? So I assume nobody left here is any interest at all in what plants I've bought, so won't worry about that. Probably no interest in RC cars or plastic model kits either, which we've been talking about most of the evening. Yeah, rapidly running out of ideas here. What have we been watching? Cryptid stuff, paranormal stuff. Um, Getting a new grill ready, messed up, man. Oh dear. You didn't put a plastic chopping board on the hot grill, did you? That's the usual one. Or do something and blow it up. Holly was going to grill 2 chickens, so we got cooked chickens ready to eat on the way. I didn't cook those chickens, and for a week yeah, okay. 2 chickens sat on the grill ready to cook, and yeah, I can imagine. Especially in Texas heat. Yeah, I know. I know. I had to clear out. Yeah. So it's all nice and rusty and nasty, and I ain't going to eat anything out of there again. I get it. Plastic way worse. Oh, yes, it's seeped in. So anything you put in there is going to smell of rotting chicken. Yeah. So way back in the day when I was working at the chicken processing factory, there was a fire. I was nothing to do with it. I wasn't even there when it happened. And the place burnt down. This was in summer. Yeah. By the time that all the investigation had been done, and well, by the time they'd been put out and declared safe, there were approximately 1,000 birds on the line that all needed getting rid of. They'd been sat there for 2 weeks in the summer heat. And yeah, oh, John, you've got no sense of smell. You can get rid of all the dead birds. So, yes, that led. Well, I mean, I got paid for it, I suppose. Well, nobody else did. But yeah, that led to me spending a day clearing up the rotting carcasses of several hundred chickens. It wasn't a good day. It really wasn't a good day. I came home and I think I sat in the bath for about an hour. I could just taste it in the air around me. It was not good. But yeah, yeah, would it contaminate everything you cooked in it? And even after that, to say a year or so's gone by, you'd still be tasting it even if you couldn't taste it. But yeah, not good. But at least you were vegan and you didn't eat the chickens. I mean, they died for no reason, but you didn't eat them. Is one way of looking at it, I suppose. But yeah, or we've all done that kind of thing, though. I'm like on the opposite. No way to clean it. Yeah, exactly. I've done the opposite. Where I stuck some fish under the grill once to cook. Grill in the oven indoors. Broiler, is that what you'd call it? Compartment of the oven where there's a grill tray and the heating elements on top. And I forgot about it. No, you'd think I wouldn't forget about it, but I put my tea on and forgotten about it. and I fell asleep on the couch. I woke up about an hour later to a house filled with smoke. And I only woke up because a friend called and said he was on his way round. Oh, yeah. Good times. This is why you don't cook when you're under the influence. I won't say what of, but there was probably a combo at the time. Yeah, that was not good. These days I just use the George Foreman instead because it's quicker and cheaper and easier. So when you're cooking for one, you don't need a. No, I'll say you don't need. You don't want to be using a full oven to cook a meal for one. It takes a long time because you've got to wait for it to heat up first, and B, just the amount of energy it costs you uses. And maybe if I had a more up to date oven than a 1980s Belling Classic, it might be more efficient, but cost of a new oven, which I'm not going to use other than the rings on the top most of the time, is a bit pointless. So while that one still works, it can sit there and tell me it's 10:33 in the morning because the clock don't work. That's about the only thing that doesn't work on it is the clock. It runs that slow, it's unreal. I could set it right now, and by the end of the stream, it'd be behind. But you know, mechanical clock in a 1980s, probably 1985 when the house was built, oven. No, it's still got the old coil rings on the top. None of your fancy glass hobs and things, just enameled metal. But hey, it works. And if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Most of the time, I pretty much use one or two of the rings and either the microwave or the George Foreman, and that covers everything I need to cook for me. I'll say, I wouldn't cook a meal for someone else anyway because, well, my sense of taste is so janky that if I cook something for someone else, it'd probably be so strong they wouldn't be able to eat it. Exactly. Stick with what you know, what works, what you're used to. And I had a friend who switched from gas to electric, and it took ages for him to get that. If you turn an electric down, it doesn't instantly get cooler. You've got to wait for the ring to cool down. So for ages, he was burning things and overcooking things, and so I couldn't get on with gas either because it's just too instant. Gets hot too quick, cools down too quick. I think it's personal taste. The only time I cook over a naked flame is when I go camping, and then that's not anything particularly sort of awe-inspiring. It'll be ramen noodles and maybe something else in a tin. Electric is the worst to cook rice with two. Yeah, rice I just cheat again because I'm only cooking rice for one. I just use the microwave pouches. 2 minutes in the microwave and done. As long as you don't go buy any Vessi, or not Vessi, Vesta, something like that, or the Uncle Ben's. Because the ones from Lidl taste just as good, and they're like 45 to 70p, which depending on which flavour you go for. But obviously, if I was cooking for a family of 4, then I wouldn't do that because that would be bloody expensive. Oh, Bert and Ernie came out. Yeah, if I was cooking for a family, then yeah, I would do rice on the stove. But again, used to cooking things on an electric stove, so not a problem. Bring the water to the boil with a bit of salt in there. Add the rice. Well, wash the rice first. Bring it back to a simmer and then turn it back down again so it just sits there bubbling away gently. And leave it for, well, till the rice is cooked. Then a couple of minutes longer just to make sure, pretty much. Yeah, I'm not overly fussy. As long as it's cooked through, I'm fine. Doesn't have to be super fluffy and all the other stuff. But if I was cooking rice regularly for more than me, I would get a rice cooker. You put the rice in, put the water in, turn it on, and forget about it. And it does it. Same if I was cooking a lot of vegetables, I'd get a steamer because it's just easier. People say, "Oh no, you need to get an air fryer. Air fryers are amazing." It's just a convection oven. My microwave's got one of them built in. Yes, it's not an air fryer. Frying takes oil or fat or grease or whatever you use. Personally, if I'm cooking something that hasn't got a lot of fat in it and needs some, I generally just chuck a dollop of butter in there just to get it started. But usually, most of the things that I might fry in a pan have a fair amount of fat in them, so you don't need to add any. Mince, ground beef, I suppose you call it in America. Minced beef, we call it. Yeah, just don't buy the stuff that's 5 or 10% fat. Buy the stuff that's 25% fat because it's half the price and it doesn't need anything. You just chuck it in the pan, break it up, and job done. Then you add your oyster sauce, your soy sauce, and either hoisin or teriyaki or something, and you make a quick and simple Japanese meal along with a pouch of microwave rice. Then your meat, and you put gravy on it as well, because why not? Gravy makes rice a lot easier to eat. If you make the gravy nice and thick, then it all sort of holds the rice together, so you can just sort of not have it go everywhere when you're trying to pick it up with a fork. And extra flavour and fat. But yeah, that's all Ponzi recipes are anyway, isn't it? Let's be honest. You take base ingredients and you add stuff to it to make it taste better. And just because it's not to, oh, well, that's not how it's exactly supposed to be. No, I don't care. It tastes good to me. And if it don't, add hot sauce. Then you can't taste anything and you're sorted. That might just be me though. Absolutely, yeah. If it don't taste great, add hot sauce or blue cheese. Like cooking that way, find the cheapest cuts of meat and turn them into gourmet meals. Yes, I mean, what's the, you know, it's a part of a cow. Cow tastes of cow, right? So why have to get the most expensive parts of the cow when you can buy a cheaper part of the cow? It tastes the same, just might need cooking a bit longer. Yeah, I mean, gone are the days where the only bit of the pig we didn't use was the oink. Um, Although, yeah, we use most of it, I suppose. Um, yeah, it's, well, I suppose certain cuts of pork are probably most people wouldn't eat these days. Because I'm pretty sure if you offered up most people a plate of trotters or ears or tails or whatever, they go, ugh. Same as beef tongue. Tongue tastes delicious, but people turn their nose up at it because it's tongue. I quite happily eat butt cheek. Yeah. Rump steak. Where is the rump? Yeah, you're eating cow buttock. I'd rather eat the end where the food goes in than the end where the food comes out, if you know what I mean. Yeah, beef cheek. Yeah, marinate, slow cook. Yeah, just takes a bit longer. That's all. Because it's tougher meat. It's done more work. I mean, I'd probably be quite tender, I guess, because I don't do a huge amount. I wouldn't need any extra oil either, because I've piled the weight back on over the winter. As I say, weather improving, I'll be getting back on the bike. Grilling a Texas Longhorn locally raised beef shoulder right now. 2 foot long, huge shoulder bone with lots of soft marrow in it. Fold it over on itself so the marrow would drain back into the meat. Yeah. Why waste the flavour? There used to be a cooking show in the UK called The Hairy Bikers, one of whom is no longer with us. And basically, their saying was fat means flavour. Don't waste flavour. But again, people these days, you tell them it's bone marrow, they're going to go, ugh, ugh, disgusting. But these are also the kind of people who like their steak well done. So you can take their culinary interest with a grain of salt. Probably also the people who put pineapple on a pizza. Or who go to Italy on holiday and complain about the Italian pizzas not being right. People get off of butter and oils to get oils definitely. Yeah, chuck most of them in the bin. And we'd switch to grass-fed tallow, or yeah, just healthily raised animals. They have the flavour in them. Well, my meats fall apart, don't like chewing for ages. Too primitive even for this redneck. Don't eat whelks then. Whelks are a shellfish that we have in the UK that you go to the seaside, and probably not these days, but it used to be you go to the seaside, there'd be the little van stall thing. You'd be able to buy like a pint of whelks or a pint of cockles, mollusks, or mussels, whatever. Mussels kind of fall apart. Cockles are a bit chewy. Whelks, I mean, it wouldn't be too much of an understatement to say you could probably chew a whelk for about 3 hours. Don't eat oysters because of the chew, textural with food. Yeah, I mean, if you've not had cockles before, then you probably ain't going to be able to find them in the US because you don't have cockles, especially not that far south. But yeah, and they are very nice. Can't beat a cockle. It's one of the weirdly, it's one of the foodstuffs that has not skyrocketed in price lately. Grandparents make oysters. Oh, yeah, I'm not a fan of oysters, especially not raw. Yeah, Czechoslovakian, a country that no longer exists. Much. Yeah. Does that make me old? That I remember Czechoslovakia and Yugoslavia. Oh no, they'll always be Czechoslovakian, right? Because that was the country they were born, brought up, and raised in. Um, yeah, yeah, I remember the wars. Probably, well, no, not the last place we invaded, because that'd be probably Afghanistan and the Gulf. Um, Czech Ukrainian. Oh, very Eastern European then. So lots of cabbage as well, no doubt. Lots of wind going on. Of course, I'll be Catholic. It's, they're those kind of places like you're from there, you are that. People from those areas who weren't were pretty much pariahs. Secretly adopted my father through a hush hush order with the Church and Trust of the Czech Republic. Okay. Yeah, there was a lot going on over in Eastern Europe in the period beyond World War II and the end of the millennium. Yeah. So yeah, still Soviet controlled and Eastern Bloc, and yeah, not pleasant places to be. Although weirdly, you'd have been better off being a rural type, living out in the country, farmery, than you would have been living in the cities, working in factories. Um, you damn commie. Uh, yeah, it's Eastern Europe during the Cold War wasn't a particularly pleasant place to be. Well, yeah, they had to be, or they would probably have been go to Gulag. Yeah, even if they weren't, they were. Kind of had to be to save your own skin. 'Cause- Now, I mean, I'm not going to make light of the Holocaust from Germany, but if proper numbers ever came out from what the Russians or the Soviets were doing at the time, the amount of people that disappeared or were deemed political enemies of the state or dissidents and quietly moved to a gulag or a salt mine somewhere. Ended up being a pilot for the USAAF and became captain for American Airlines. At least it wasn't Spirit Airlines. Yes, I've heard about those. Basically, the American version of EasyJet. Um, EasyJet being the budget airline in the UK, where the owner actually considered removing the seats from the planes so he could get more people in them. Imagine that, standing room only on a plane. Yeah. I think it got to the point where it was no-noed on health and safety grounds that you do realise most of the people will fall over, and if there's turbulence or the plane crashes, yeah. But then if you could get twice as many people on the plane, you got the same running costs. He he would probably have dropped the prices so that he did fill them up. James, good evening, sir. Long time no see. How the devil art thou? All the cool kids are coming out tonight. Exactly. Who needs two wings for a plane? I'm surprised people don't complain about biplanes these days, thinking it's some kind of weird sexual kink. Oh, try explaining to them a triplane or a quad plane then. Yeah. Oh, what was that kids cartoon back in whenever it was? Jimbo and the Jet Set. Basically, like Thomas the Tank Engine about, but they used planes instead of trains. Yeah, wouldn't be able to have a biplane in there, would you? Not called trans fluid, it's gender neutral lubricant. Might identify as a helicopter. So you joke about trans fluid. Um, the If Norm was still here, he'd be able to back me up on this because he was there. We had a transgender, I'll never get it right, male to female join the modelling group. No problem, none of us had an issue with it. Yeah, whatever. And we obviously tried to avoid jokes of that kind of thing because you know what it's like when you get a bunch of guys together and the joke level soon drops through the gutter. Yeah, exactly, used to be part of the Rocky Horror. Um, but then a model kit came out of the Ford Transit van. Right. The problem was that we all and everyone calls a transit van a tranny van. It doesn't mean it's not funny. Yeah, it is still funny. So we were just talking about the tranny van kit, and this person took great offence to it and couldn't understand that we called it a tranny van because that's what we'd called it since we were children. Lake to Land Aquatics, howdy do, good to see you. Working and lurking in Amanorum. Oh, Amanorums, sounds fun. Thank you very much for popping by. I'm sitting and chilling in the, I would say fish room, it's more of a fish house really at this point, isn't it? I'm guessing I probably know you from somewhere and just completely drawing a blank because my brain is like that. Uh, but good to see you anyway. Um, yeah, it's just fish here. Well, fish, shrimp, snails, some birds breeding and frogs breeding in the garden. Walk a neighbour's dog sneaking on. Yes. Sneaking is always good. It's what you wear sneakers for, according to Grandpa Simpson. He was wearing sneakers for sneaking. Yeah. So what else we got? Oh, and Mary's got a bunny as well, so I do bunny fusses. But yeah, I generally just steal the neighbours' furry friends. Sneaking around is fun. Doing martial arts training would run through the neighbourhoods that had motion sensor lights. Try to cut through the yards without them going off. Unfortunately, I'm really good at not tripping those. Because it seems most of them work on infrared and pick up the body heat signatures. Now, for some reason, I don't produce a lot of body heat. I tend to be kind of like externally, at least, air temperature. So try and get work done before the kids want to help. Oh yeah. Thankfully, I don't have that issue. Casually cold-hearted. I'm just cold-blooded. I must be. But yeah, I'll be in one of the aisles at work and the lights will just turn off. Or I'll walk in there, pass the sensor, and they won't turn on. And also, I tend to walk fairly quietly as well. Judging by the amount of times I make people just absolutely jump out of their skin without trying or meaning to. I feel cold-blooded and do love reptiles, so possible. Yeah. I just go with the I'm well insulated so the heat stays on the inside. And we had a new thermometer turn up at work for checking the water temperature in the taps and things or faucets, taps, whatever, because apparently it has to be a certain temperature these days. And we were doing what you do, taking everyone's temperature to see if anyone had COVID and that kind of thing. It's one of the laser pointer ones, so you point it and it tells you. Pointed it at me and it came out as 15 degrees or something. Yeah. Weirdo heat lovers. And there's me wandering around in shorts and t-shirt and it's like -5. wherever that is in American. Low teens. Yeah, there's me cycling about in my shorts when there's ice and snow. But anyway, my time is up. I need something to drink and I need something to eat. So thank you very much, everyone, for turning up. Thank you very much, Bob, for the $10 super chat. Most appreciated. Never expected. We're part of doing ice baths. Oh, no, yeah, I don't do swimming. You'll never catch me swimming. So, yes, where was I? Thanks, everyone, for turning up. Hope you had at least a bit of fun or entertainment. That's the word. Get your English right, Sharpe. But have a great week. Stay safe. Peace out. Rock on. Bye bye. Sunday shop do 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 do. Sunday shop do 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 do. Sunday shop do 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 do. Mondays suck do 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 do. Mondays suck do 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 do.